Such a Nerd Podcast. Of course they're wearing pants. Or are they?
Capcom presents Marvel Comics.
Hey, we're back. I'm going to say it before he can because I heard him take a breath.
What a dick.
This is Such a Dick podcast.
Starring David.
Hell yeah, there's no Josh.
So, welcome to Such a Nerd Podcast.
Oh, we're doing that?
Yeah.
I thought this was the Dick cast.
Where we talk about games, movies, comics, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Some wrestling sometimes thrown in there if it's important enough with the hiatus going on right now.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I got a little bit of my throw in at the end. We'll
you
see
can
what
throw
happens.
some in. That's good.
So, what we're going to talk about today,
Hey, Evo.
we're going to talk about Evo for sure. Evo's going on right now.
We're watching it now.
If you're not watching it, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
We are actually watching the Killer Instinct. I believe this is finals.
It is the finals. It is top 8, sir.
And we actually were just talking about it before we started, and I decided to hold on my opinion to bring it in here, is if you followed the game at all, you know it was originally not done by Iron Galaxy, who is working on the game now. The team that was originally there, the creator, one of the leads, his name is Filthy Rich, he calls himself. I believe maybe he has a little bit of money.
Maybe.
Maybe.
One could assume.
But I was just saying how it's cool. It's like his team's not working on the game anymore, but he was like, he's so happy with the product he made, and he's even happy with the changes that Iron Galaxy made with it, that he still plays the game.
Cool.
He's a really humble dude.
Yeah.
But he is really fucking good. Like, you do not fuck with this guy.
So we're going to talk about Evo for sure. We're going to wrap up San Diego Comic-Con because we touched on it a little bit last week, but I wanted to wait until we got the full, all the trailers are out and all that stuff.
Now we're not just touching, we're going to be going to fourth base.
We're going full on groping.
Maybe fifth. Fifth base.
We're going to continue on our Metal Gear Solid retrospective. We're going to talk about Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yep, we got 3. How many more of these do we got?
Well, I figure we can probably just throw Ground Zeroes in with 4.
That'll work. Are we going to
Yeah.
talk at all about resistance? Revengeance?
I mean, we can.
Alright. Because it's a quick one, I would
Yeah,
think.
I mean, it's not really part of the series, quote-unquote, but
I mean, it says Metal Gear Solid.
yeah, it does.
It just adds rising afterwards in a word that doesn't exist.
Yes.
But it's not like one of the Metal Gear games where we have to talk so long about it because the story is that in-depth. It is...
No, no.
But I guess we'll save that for... maybe that's what we'll do. We'll talk 4 individually and then Ground Zeroes and Revengeance on the same day.
Sounds like a plan.
That's good. We
All right.
figured it out. I'm glad we talked about this before the show.
You know what we did? We fucking did it live.
We did it live as fuck.
And figured it out.
And we didn't even say it like a movie quote.
Shall we go on to news?
Thank
That's what I was waiting for.
you.
First up,
Yeah.
shout out to Gary.
Hey, Gary, how you doing? We miss you. We love you. When are you going to be on the show, asshole?
Yeah, that's gotta happen at some point.
We never invited him, but
No,
we
we
just
didn't.
kind of figured he'd just show up one day.
Hey, just be like, hey guys, I can be on the podcast, right? Of course you can, Gary. Just come on over.
We knew you were waiting for this moment, Gary. So, yeah, shout out to Gary. Shout out again to Jesse, who actually, I'm guessing he either listened or was informed, but he said thanks for the shout out, so
Oh, okay.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it was a very cool perspective to see somebody actually, because when you talk about games, it's like, I actually enjoyed Devil May Cry 2. I don't know a lot of people who can say that also.
You are by yourself on that one, buddy.
So I can understand niche games for people, and I'm glad he's enjoying his game.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, that's what they're for, right?
Pretty much.
No, they're for us to bitch about. What are you talking about?
Fuck that game. No, wait, I love that game.
Yeah. No. Wait.
I don't love Batman, I love Devil May Cry 2.
Oh, okay.
I thought that game was great.
All right.
Even
Well,
if the bosses were a little just grindy, and there was no clear strategy to these bosses. It was just, hey, here he is, just beat him up for like a half a fucking hour. So, yeah.
all right.
All right.
New Fantastic Four trailer was released.
Still don't care about it.
Showed a little bit more of Doctor Doom.
Yeah, they're fucking it up.
Yeah, looks fucking retarded. It's still a double no. Don't want to see that movie.
I've never had any interest in Fantastic Four after I watched the first 10 minutes of the first movie.
No, not at all.
And I still sat through that pile. And I saw the second one in theaters. And the whole time I'm like,
Why'd you do this?
this is fucking awful. The best part about that, though, was Silver Surfer.
Oh, totally. Totally.
So, especially that they did that one cool thing where he, like, warped through the bottom of the board and was standing on the bottom part. That was cool.
Yeah.
I'll give him props to that.
No, they did a really good job with Silver Surfer. They just fucked up everything else.
Who was that? Galactus?
It was a giant dust cloud.
Yeah, that definitely looked like Galactus.
Totally.
I've seen him in Nevada. They're called sandstorms.
Yes. Happens in Australia all the time. Galactus comes and eats everything.
Eats kangaroos.
Yeah.
Dingo ate your baby.
So I noticed the tagline they're starting to use for this is the studio that brought you.
The studio that bought your soul.
Yeah. The studio that brought you X-Men Days of Future Past.
Oh, they're trying really hard to make it seem like they did a good job.
Aren't they? I think they're trying a little too hard, because I still don't give a fuck.
Hey man, sometimes you gotta apply a little try hard.
Well, X-Men Days of Future Past, speaking of that, they're coming out with a new cut of the film. So it's not a director's cut, but it is the Rogue cut.
The Rogue. The Rogue.
It's so rogue.
Basically, from what I've heard was what he told me, is basically a storyline with Rogue was involved, and it got pretty much cut from the movie, and it's just going to be put back in.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all it was.
So it's not a cash grab or anything with the new movie about to come up.
No, why would they do that? Why would they try to get you to buy the movie yet again?
Are you going to buy it yet again?
No.
That's good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you.
No, I don't care about Rogue that much.
Oh, is that Cinder? Sorry. I got a little hype. I've been waiting to watch the Cinder player.
Joss Whedon says he cannot see ever doing a director's cut for Avengers 2.
I don't want him to. Those movies are too long to begin with.
So we talked about it a little bit, I think last week actually, that they had like a 3-hour and something minute cut of the film, and that was his cut of the film, and then the studio went in, chopped a bunch of stuff off to get it down to 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I guess everybody was assuming he was going to go back and do a director's cut for it, but he said he has no desire to do it.
Do you think that might have something to... Because did he direct the first one or no?
Yeah.
Do you think maybe because of what they went back and did with that, because, you know, basically was somewhat expressed on how he wasn't happy with the way he was treated on that? Where
Well,
it's basically like, oh yeah, shoot the movie you want, and then they came in and they're like, yeah, we're not going to do what you want, we're going to do this our way, so...
He didn't come out and say that. Like, he didn't bash Marvel or anything, but...
He didn't straight up just be like, these guys are assholes.
No, but he was like, you know, when I became a director, I was like, I never want to go back and revisit my old work. I always want to look forward. I don't know how true that is, but that's what he said.
Alright, I guess that's a good it's a very PC way to explain it.
Yeah.
You aren't going to upset anybody, and it sounds like you're just looking to build. When in reality, I'm sure there was a part of him that was like, these guys are fucking dicks, man.
Yeah, I would assume so, probably.
They aren't letting him make the movie they said he could make. So, whatever. It's Marvel.
I'll be honest,
Marvel.
It is Marvel. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of that little scene with Thor in the cave. Well, you haven't seen the fucking movie yet.
I have a
you
feeling I
no
know what
idea
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, it's like this trippy dream drug or
Yeah,
some sequence.
apparently a large part of that was cut out. I would have liked to have actually seen that because...
Yeah, I've heard about it, and apparently it doesn't really make much sense with the cut that was made.
It doesn't, but also in the trailer there was a scene where some woman was helping him out of this pool, and that's completely gone from the movie. So you don't find out who this woman is.
I really hate when trailers do that, by the way. They use fucking footage that isn't actually in the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty, isn't it?
The one I always think back to first, and I'll never forget it because it was the first time it ever dawned on me that they do that shit, was what's that movie, Half-Baked?
The one
with
with
Dave
Dave
Chappelle?
Yeah.
Where he is like, fucking championship pole vaulter or whatever, and he goes to
Oh,
jump over and
yeah,
he hits his
yeah.
nuts, and it's
I
not the
completely
movie.
forgot about that.
I've never forgotten. That was the first time I realized. I was like, they're just going to put in footage in these trailers that aren't in the movie, but were shot.
Yeah.
So they're false advertising in a sense. Because trust me, when I first saw that movie, I was waiting for that moment.
Yeah.
It's like, oh god, he's gonna rack his fucking nuts on that shit.
Doesn't happen.
By the way, still some of the best part of comedy. when somebody racks their nuts.
Yeah, totally. That and bathroom humor.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Fart jokes, always the best.
Absolutely.
Who needs creative dialogue when you can just make fun of intestinal noises? Intestinal noises, I realize I fucked that up. Intestinal noise. Moving on.
Yes.
Yes.
Wreck-It Ralph 2 is happening. Did you see the first one?
Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah, it was actually pretty fucking good.
It was good, and they had a
I
lot of
enjoyed it.
little cameos from video game characters in there.
Of course. I always thought Zangief was pretty fucking funny.
Was, yeah. Bison was in there as well.
Bison was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
And the zombie. Random zombie who wasn't just, there's zombies everywhere.
So,
But-
yeah, that's happening. John C. Reilly confirmed that he signed on to voice Ralph again, so that's what's going to happen.
Kind of excited to see what kind of video game references they're going to make this time, because
Yes.
I love the big, somewhat going after Call of Duty. You know what I'm talking about.
Heroes Duty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, duty.
You
It's a
said
good movie.
duty.
Go watch the movie. It's actually pretty fucking good. I know it's a kid's movie, but I watched it by myself. Whatever, man.
Yeah, no, it's a
I
good
do the
movie.
same with Minions.
Yeah.
I'm almost probably going to end up doing that.
Which I saw, and I'm going to talk about.
Oh,
Yeah.
coming up on the next episode of Such a Nerd Podcast.
So something else that came out of Comic-Con, Mark Webb, who directed Amazing Spider-Man 2,
Terrible movie.
was talking about some of the plot points they were going to do for Amazing Spider-Man 3 before Marvel got involved and got the rights back, kind of.
Which we're very glad now at this point, because from what I read, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, so the story was going to involve a formula that Peter Parker had that would bring his loved ones back from the dead.
Wow. Aren't you just desperately digging into this hole?
So we have that. We have their Sinister Six spinoff they wanted to do. We have their Aunt May spinoff movie that they wanted to do.
What the fuck would an Aunt May spinoff be?
Exactly.
She gonna bake some fucking muffins?
Exactly. Yeah, she's gonna do that. She's gonna have prune juice club. It's gonna be great.
Fuck yeah, we're shitting regular people.
So yeah, thank fucking God that's not being made.
Way to save us, Marvel.
All right, so that's movie news. Moving on to TV news.
Fuck TV.
I'm a little sad. Hannibal got canceled.
I might as well check it out. I heard they, when you say canceled, does that mean they left a plot point open that's never going to be resolved?
So they're going to finish up. The third season's already done filming. They're going to finish airing it, and then after that, it's done.
So they basically, if there's a gap in the third season waiting for a story, it's just like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Correct. And
Fucking hate when that happens, dude.
they were already talking about it getting picked up by Amazon or Netflix, because Amazon has the rights to stream the first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
They wanted the 4th season done by the end of the year, and the actor who plays Hannibal already has commitments, so that was impossible. Netflix is very interested. Netflix wants to get the show, they want to do it, but Amazon won't give up the rights to seasons 1 through 3. So Netflix is like, well, if we don't have the rights to air those seasons, we're not going to do it.
Dude,
So Amazon's really just being dicks.
I mean, that's what always sucks. It's what we said in one of our earlier episodes. The first thing they're there to do is, this is a business. They're there to make money.
Yeah.
So it just really sucks the fact that, I don't know if Netflix is doing it out of passion or money, but to see them just getting basically cock-blocked on something like this is fucking ridiculous.
Netflix has saved a few shows in the past that I've really liked, like The Killing is a really good show that got canceled off of AMC. They picked it up and did season 3 and 4. Tied it off with a nice bow. It was great. So I was really hoping Hannibal would get picked up because it is a great show, and everybody I know that has watched this show has said that. They're like, this show is awesome, it's fantastic, it's one of the best things on TV, but nobody's watching it. So what the fuck? Even as I'm watching Evo, actually this stream, somebody said, I hope Hannibal gets picked up by Netflix. And people in the stream started talking about how great Hannibal is, and I'm like, then why is nobody watching the show? Because it is great.
Yeah, I know. I just, in the real world, when it comes down to it, is just, I'm a busy person during the week. I don't know when it aired or anything, but I just don't have a lot of free time, you know?
Yeah.
So I can understand how it is sometimes, because there's so many shows out, and there's so many networks, and there's so many exclusives. It's like, some of the good shit is going to get lost in all that.
Well, it fucking sucks. It's a great show, and I hate to see it go.
What network was airing it?
NBC of all networks.
NBC, really?
And I tell you, I don't know how they got away with putting some of the shit they put on there.
All right, I'm gonna have to check it out. Actually, I was kind of looking for a new show. I've pretty much run out of anime to watch at this point, almost.
Yeah, it's good. I would check it out. All right, moving on to game news. So, not much going on. Well, we're going to talk about some stuff that happened at Comic-Con, but one thing I found that was really cool is the Horizon probe that is taking all these pictures of Pluto that we're getting and everybody's flipping out about, being powered by a PS1 CPU.
That's insane.
They literally took a CPU out of a PlayStation 1, put it in this probe, and that is what's powering it.
Like, I wonder how they came to a decision like that, though, especially in that kind of a field.
I guess it was the exact specs that they needed for it, and they were like, hey, you know, they launched this thing in 2005, so you got to figure what, you can get a PlayStation 1 for like $40 then?
Now, yeah. All right, let's send another probe now.
Using a PS2 chip?
You use PS4 now.
No, PS3. You got to go one generation back.
They want the cheap parts. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I also heard EA and Comcast are beta testing a streaming game service.
Fucking stupid.
Fucking stupid, and the two most evil companies in all of entertainment, EA and Comcast.
Activision's close.
Activision, I would say they're in there, but they're not as big or evil as EA or Comcast.
I don't know. I think if EA and Activision made a baby, it would be Satan. It wouldn't be the son of Satan. It'd just be Satan.
Would you say if EA and Comcast had a baby, it would be Activision?
Ooh.
We might be onto something there.
We're going to start a fucking religion based on global conglomerates.
It's Eactivision Cast.
The Activision. Welcome to another edition of Satan.
EAC.
It's in your soul.
Speaking of David Hayter.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He is a great guy. He's not the voice of Snake in the new one, which kind of pisses me off.
We knew that was coming, though, for a long time now.
Metal Gear Solid 5. The box will not have Kojima Productions logo on the back.
Fuck you, Konami.
Isn't that just a
I saw the
shitty
picture
thing
of the
to
change.
do?
I saw the picture of the change, and it's literally just them being so fucking hateful.
It's
right
just slapping him right in the face like, fuck you.
now. The dude's been there for so fucking long.
Decades.
It's like, let him have his last fucking work. Whatever. Fuck them.
You know what? Konami is now the inbred sister of Activision. There you go.
So wait, EA and Comcast get together and make Satan, and then EA cheated on Comcast with Activision, and they made Konami.
There you go. All right. We're figuring out this family tree. This is great.
It's going to be a great side story.
Tekken Cross Street Fighter is still a thing.
No, it's not.
Well, that's what they said.
No, I just still don't care.
Nobody cares about Tekken. Come on.
Last Tekken that was relevant to me is Tekken Tag. The first one, not
one.
that second one.
Yeah, the first one.
That was a blast. And then just something about it, dude. It's just not entertained by Tekken.
So when did Street Fighter Cross Tekken come out? That was like 4 years ago now, right?
Yeah, that's when they announced both of the projects.
Yeah.
You can see which one was more eager to work on the project.
Clearly.
Which one obviously didn't work on any kind of new fucking engine because it just looked like Street Fighter fucking 4.
Yeah.
It was slower.
Much slower.
It wasn't fun.
No, not at all. So many characters, and I was like, I don't want to play with any of these characters.
It's like, man, I'm just going to turn this off, play Street Fighter.
Pretty much.
Best thing about that game was the fact that we got the models for Poison and
Yeah.
Hugo.
Yeah.
That's the best thing that happened with that game.
I'll agree with that.
Welcome to Street Fighter.
So we talked about last week the new Godzilla game was coming out.
And then it came out.
Apparently it sucks.
Yeah, apparently it's not very fun.
Yeah, so I didn't pick it up. I did finally go back and watch some gameplay of it, though. Did you check any of it out?
No, I just saw what I saw in that. I saw a review of it.
Yeah, it moves
It
so
didn't look
slow.
Yeah, it looked boring.
And I know what they were going for. They were going for, like, okay, when you see Godzilla on a TV screen, he's big and slow and, you know, that kind of deal. They were going for that. And I was like,
That's
that
not
works.
going to work in a game.
No, it works great for a movie. It's not going to work in a game.
Building ominous atmosphere in a movie, great job. Doing it in a game when people are expecting to do a bunch of destruction and fight monsters and you're moving at that pace is not going to work.
No, and apparently you don't use the sticks to turn left or right. It's L1
Yeah,
and
you
R1.
go old school, like back before, like the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
It's still relevant.
Yeah, totally.
Not really. If you're using shoulder buttons to turn, you should be playing a game that's like from 2001.
Yeah, so I don't know what they were thinking. Well, I know what they were thinking. They were going for an authentic Godzilla experience. They were trying to harken back to the old movies, but...
Well, then they should have made that game back in 2001.
Or 1996?
1999! Yeah!
So yeah, apparently it sucks, and that's unfortunate. Which I guess they could actually go back and probably patch in an update to make it a little bit faster, couldn't
And
they?
make it so they could use fucking analog sticks.
Well, that would be great.
That would be easy.
Yeah.
It's a fucking control scheme that's used in almost every fucking game.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Stupid.
But as for right now, so everybody's saying it sucked, which you actually sent me a link to an IGN review, and I looked at it and I was like, okay, well that
Segway.
sucks. But it's IGN. I'm not sure how I trust IGN because, ironically enough, I was playing Double Dragon Neon the other day,
Yes.
and I couldn't remember where one of the hidden shops were.
No.
So I put in Double Dragon Hidden Shops, and for whatever reason, it brought me to IGN where they had the review of it.
Yeah.
They gave that game a 3 out of 10.
Which is bullshit because that game's a lot of fucking fun.
That game is awesome.
That's a co-op blast.
It is. So if you haven't played it, check it out. It's actually one of my favorite games from last generation. Because all they did was update the battle system a little bit. They put a rockin' 80s soundtrack.
High fives.
They put high fives. They call each other bro.
It's a good time. And then they made a sequel that actually is bad.
Yeah, well, I didn't play that one.
Don't play that one. The
But
sequel's bad.
yeah, Double Dragon Neon. Check that one out. That one's awesome.
Fuck yeah. Minigasm.
Batgirl DLC, which
hey,
we all knew was coming.
you got a half an hour to kill? We got something you can spend, like, what, $15 on?
All right, so here's the deal with this. So if you
Actually, I
bought,
think it's 20.
no, if you bought the season pass is $40 fucking dollars. Okay, so that means you're paying $100 to play the full version of this game, which we've talked about before.
Which, if you're one of the people that usually get season passes, it's before you played the game.
Yes.
Little did you know what you were getting.
So the Batgirl DEC.
DEC. It's in the game.
It's in the game. The Batgirl DLC is
It's unlockable.
40 fucking minutes long.
Yeah.
If you buy it separately, I believe it's $10. But
I'm not
even
buying
then, no, I'm not.
I got better thing to do with 40 minutes. It's going to take longer to install that DLC than it is to beat it.
So I went on GameFAQs, and one of the guys there was like, well, if you take the time to do all the side stuff, it'd actually take you about 2 hours. No, fuck you.
Even then, 2 hours for $10?
Since when the hell do side quests count towards the total runtime of a game? Because I'm playing Final Fantasy VII right now. Ever since they announced the new one, I went back and have been playing the old one. I have a save game file where I've maxed everything out. I have, 4 of every master materia, yada, yada, yada. I've put in over 100 hours of that game. I know what I have because the counter stops at 99 hours and 59 minutes. I can
So
tell
you
you
don't know
that.
how far over 100 you actually went.
Exactly. But if you ask me how long that game is, I'll be like, 35, 40 hours. I'm not going to say 100 hours.
You know what the shitty part about that is just like, that's not what you're buying.
No, I'm not buying side missions. I'm not buying a 4 side mission.
And it's just like, I do make one argument for that. Is that I think Ground Zeroes, was it worth the $20 I spent on it? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I got a lot out of it because I played a lot of the side content. I wanted to explore, whereas with Batman, I do not want to explore. You're gonna understand that, right?
Yeah.
But even with that, trying to justify spending your money on doing everything on the side, you can basically make the same argument in a way better sense that charging $15 for 3 maps in a Call of Duty, it's worth your time because you know what? I guess I can almost guarantee you're going to get more time out of those 3 maps than you're going to get from that whole fucking expansion.
Oh, totally.
That you spent $10 on.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm never going to buy a fucking map pack. So no. I hate DLC.
Well,
I miss expansions.
One of the other guys on there was like, dude, I would totally spend $40 if they just give me the Tim Burton Batman skin and the Tim Burton Batmobile.
Hey, guess what's coming?
And I was like, you're what's fucking wrong with video games. You know that,
You
right?
do know that that's coming, right?
I do know that's coming. And people, apparently, are going to want to pay $40 for it.
Which is why this is never going to change.
It's not, and it's fucking sad.
It's
It pisses
really
me off.
sad.
That was when I went off and I sent you what I said to that guy.
It's
I
like,
fucking went off.
remember when you used to be able to actually play a game and you unlocked things?
That's exactly what I said. Yeah.
It's like, that is gone.
It is.
It's never coming back because people are like, dude, you realize what we could do? We can get like $10 from everybody that bought this game.
You know what? Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 1 is still one of my favorite superhero games because there's like
It was
20
great.
different costumes you can unlock.
It was a lot of fun. You fucking flinging and flapping and flipping around everywhere.
If that game was made now, you would get like 2 costumes and it'd be $3 a piece for every other costume.
It's fucking ridiculous, dude.
It is. You know what else is ridiculous? We're 25 minutes in already.
I guess we should wrap this segment up.
So I only got one more thing, and unfortunately, we do have to end it on a sad note.
Yes.
Satoru Iwata.
Iwata.
Iwata. Satoru Iwata. The CEO of Nintendo passed away. So he had been having some health issues for the last couple years, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, speculative. That's why they did the little puppet thing during their Nintendo press conference.
Which makes a lot more sense now. when you
Makes a
look
lot
back.
more sense now. But he basically... He pulled Nintendo out of the Dark Ages, because after the GameCube, everybody was like, fuck, Nintendo's about to go out of business. And he helped the company out. He helped develop the Wii. He got the motion control technology. He licensed that technology, and the Wii was one of the biggest successes they've ever had. He came up with the 3DS. That's one of the that is the biggest handheld at this point that they've ever had.
Mhm.
So
Those things are fucking everywhere.
did a lot of awesome stuff. Unfortunately, towards the end there, the Wii U kind of flopped a little bit, and unfortunately, the last thing he ever said to the fans was, "I'm sorry about our E3 press conference," and that's just a really shitty way to end that. But
He led a hell of a life.
he did, and I know he's going to be sorely missed by Nintendo and Nintendo fans especially. And really, I mean, he's a guy that just loves video games, so you can't really hate on that.
Nope. Which is why we aren't even going to mention Smash when we talk about Evo. Because I'm not going to bash a Nintendo game right now.
I want to so bad, but okay. All right.
I think it's just fair.
All right.
Man did a lot of great work.
Yeah.
He is a part of making one of my favorite consoles of all time. Alright. Now that I'm sad, can we go,
Yeah, so we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll get into some Comic-Con stuff.
fuck yeah!
We're going to go over some trailers that we saw and maybe we didn't see or sell a... Did it?
We're going to sell something?
We're going to sell something.
Or
Or maybe that we saw a shitty cell phone copy of.
Oh, yeah. By the way, no, I'll save it.
All right.
Alright.
Later.
Fuck you. Hi. We're back. We're just jacking it in San Diego.
Know what it means?
You know what it
A
means?
whale's vagina.
Whoa. Whoa. That's a little unnecessary.
So we are back to talk about San Diego Comic-Con, some of the stuff we didn't get to last week.
Yes.
So
That.
wanted to wait till we saw a lot of the trailers, which a lot of them ended up leaking online, of course.
Of course, and then you get the bitter company that is DC. Was it?
They're
no,
like,
I guess
fuck it, we'll just put it out there.
It's Warner Brothers that's bitter.
Yeah, Warner Brothers. Yeah.
So the thing, you know what makes me laugh about that? We'll just bring it up now since we're already spouting off about it. Basically, Suicide Squad trailer got massively leaked everywhere, and they
Yeah.
basically just put it out in there like, we were trying to keep it, con exclusive, but we don't want this quality of product representing what we're working on. And then, I'm reading that, and in my head I'm going, if that's what you didn't want, then why did you let so many leaks happen to begin with?
You know,
The
you got a
Batman-
point there, buddy.
If they're that pressed about it, all the Batmobile scenes you seen shot on phones and blah, 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 like we were talking about when they were all leaked to begin with.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you don't want leaks now, apparently? I thought that was your whole
Could
purpose.
have fucking fooled me.
Yeah, it really could have fucking fooled me.
So let's talk about that for a second, because I actually had it at the bottom here. So San Diego Comic-Con in general.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's me that I'm bitter that I live on the East Coast, so it's really difficult for me to go to this. Mainly because...
It would be basically like a vacation almost. You'd
Yeah.
have to plan a lot to go.
So mainly because they always release some exclusive toys that I can't get over here, and it really pisses me off.
They had a lot of those Funko Pop, I think they're called.
Yeah, well, fuck those. I'm not worried about those.
Hey, fuck you. My Freddy Krueger's still awesome. You
Oh, I
me
did
that.
get you that, yeah.
Yeah, and it still sits in my stuff.
Awesome.
Love that guy.
So, the thing I don't get is alright, so people go to San Diego Comic-Con, and you play these trailers for them. So, let's say you have, 4,000 people in this auditorium you're playing this trailer for, and you want to keep it exclusive and special for them. That's great. Hey, they paid money to go. Awesome. My point is, do you want to keep these 4,000 people happy, or do you want to appease the 10 million people that want to see your trailer?
There's a reason it leaked online so quickly.
So
Those people are getting massive hits on YouTube. Massive hits on YouTube means massive easy money for work you didn't even have to do.
yeah, pretty much.
So,
But my point is, especially with the internet the way that it is now, why don't these companies be like, look, we're going to show you this trailer now. It'll be online in 72 hours. Done.
why don't they just fucking offer an online pass?
Or that.
People would still go to the con, you know?
Yeah, people would still go to the con. You could charge people like $5 to watch the panel.
You're
Stream
going to
online.
make that much more money. People are going to get that much better quality of the product that you're trying to keep con exclusive. It's still technically con exclusive.
Yeah,
So-
doesn't make any sense to me.
You want to make money? Boom, online pass. It's there's another company that does that, don't they? Like BlizzCon, don't they sell virtual tickets?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you can't make it out, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're going to miss out on all the cool physical stuff, but you're going to see all the shit you wanted to, and you're going to see it in good quality.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the option they should look for.
Yeah, there's a way to do it to appease both parties, both people who are there versus people who aren't there but still want to see it.
Yeah.
All right, so we're in agreement there.
Remember when the Hulk got leaked online and it was really shitty?
Oh, it was so bad. Oh my god, it was horrible.
And they came out with the real movie and it was still bad.
Oh, it was fucking horrible.
Yeah, I remember. I think you're the one that found like early leak with like melting foot footage.
Oh yeah, dude, they they had like his whole body was green except his torso was white because they hadn't put the pants on yet. It was bad. It was really bad.
Hey man, sometimes maybe you should work a little harder.
So let's get into what we did actually see. So first thing I want to talk about, I think the biggest one, of course, Marvel said, hey, we're not going to be there this year. They still had a booth, but they were like, we're not going to reveal anything big. So this was really the year for DC to go there and just knock it out of the park. So we got the Superman versus Batman trailer. Superman v Batman, I'm sorry. No S in there.
I'm still not exactly. I really don't care about that movie.
So people are going apeshit over this trailer, and there were a couple parts in it that I thought were really good. So when you see Bruce Wayne standing on the street, and the building falls down, and instead of running away, he's running towards the destruction, he saves the little girl. That's a really cool scene.
Yeah.
Everything else, bullshit.
It just seemed like a lot of action, and it made me wonder, how long is this movie going to be?
They keep shoehorning stuff into this thing.
Exactly, and that just makes it seem like it was a massive plot point when this was originally inked.
So
this was not made to be a single movie.
no, obviously you had the whole Batman v Superman thing. We know that, and then they're like, okay, well we're going to put Wonder Woman in. It's like, okay, you don't want to come right out with a Wonder Woman movie. That's fine. You can put her in this, and then she can branch off. Then they're like, oh, well, we're going to put Aquaman in it, too. And now they're like, oh, the big rumor now is that Doomsday's in the movie.
Why?
So it's just like... And then during the trailer, we get the scene where, you see the Robin suit up there, and it's spray painted, haha, Batman, you failed, or whatever. So is the Joker going to be in there, too? Like, there's just too much shit going on in this movie.
They're trying to pack in everything they can fucking think of at these two movies they're working on right now.
I think Honest Trailers put it perfectly 6 months ago when they reviewed the first trailer, and it was like, Batman v Superman, rush to Justice League. That's exactly what this is.
I don't know why they didn't just go there to begin with. I thought that's what they were going to do, and then you hear about...
I think that's what their original plan was. Like, hey, we're going to do a Justice League. Then they're like, well, wait a second, hold on. We got to introduce these characters.
So we're going to introduce them all
in one movie.
Fucking Aquaman, fucking Seaman.
So one of the things people are kind of iffy about on the trailer is, obviously in the first Superman movie, he straight up breaks Zod's neck and kills him.
Fuck yeah, he does.
Didn't bother saving any citizens. Fuck those guys. But I'm gonna break Zod's neck. That's cool.
And then we're gonna destroy half the city.
Yeah. In this trailer, Batman clearly breaks a dude's neck when they're fighting in the desert.
Really?
Yeah.
I should probably check that trailer out.
He's fighting like 5 people, and he knocks one of them down and just straight up breaks his neck.
It's not very it's not very Batman.
No, it's not like either of these characters. Like this, honestly, the Superman one didn't bother me too much because it was kind of like, all right, either he kills Zod or Zod's going to kill this family that's about to get incinerated by these heat beams.
Hey,
So he broke his neck. All right,
you can even see it in his face. He didn't want to do that. That's not the option he wanted.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. And Batman in this one, he breaks a dude's neck. He brands the Batman symbol into another guy. He's just like fucking ruthless in this one.
So Batman's a dick now.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't like that. Batman has always been a character that stood for, like, not killing people.
Well, I think that's a common misbelief because,
Really?
yeah,
What don't I know?
there's comics where he definitely kills people. There's movies where he definitely kills people.
Oh, God, yeah. The movies, he definitely kills people.
Yeah,
When you're
like-
seeing all those cars explode, and you think those guys are just walking out going, that sucked.
Yeah, like even Batman Returns with Tim Burton, he like straps the dynamite to the guy and then knocks him down the hole, and the thing blows up.
Yeah,
It's
I
like, yeah,
remember.
that guy's dead.
It's a common misconception in a sense. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
Because the character is known for trying to not kill people, but the situations, there's definitely people that are dying.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like you said, with the dynamite thing, it's like, did he think that guy was going to realize the dynamite was there and get it off somehow and stop?
Well, I don't know how canon the Tim Burton movies are anyway, but whatever.
They're fucking life canon, son.
Kaboom!
Hey, everybody's always going to talk about how awesome those movies were.
Oh, the first two were awesome.
People
for
still
sure.
make mention of Michael Keaton being Batman.
Yeah.
Jeez. Did you see that Screw Attack linked, they're like, oh, fucking leaked footage of new Joker, new Joker, blah, 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 and it showed pictures of,
Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson dressed up as the Joker. Yeah.
No.
It was funny. It made me laugh. It's like, oh, DC leaked a new version of the Joker from Jack Nicholson. Here it is. Leak, leak, leak. It's like, and it was all capitals, and it was great. It made me laugh. And you had people on there that, one thing I hate about the internet, when somebody doesn't get the joke, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, this is a leaked picture, blah, blah, blah. And then people under in the comments
Somebody-
are sitting there going,
yeah.
but that's from a movie in the 80s. And it's like, no shit.
Yeah.
They're making fun of all this leaked shit they're getting for Batman versus Superman and all the leaked shit from Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Is it that? I thought it was obvious.
Oh, you would think, yeah.
But there were actually multiple people sitting there going, that's actually already happened. They're not going to bring him back. It's like, you guys are fucking stupid.
Alright, so speaking of the Joker, we got a Suicide Squad trailer, which we talked about.
Yay. And
All
everybody
right.
thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
I watched it
somehow.
and I was not that impressed. So.
I was like, alright, I'm still interested to see Harley. She still looks awesome.
Still hot. But
Uh,
the thing that got me is that stupid fucking line from Will Smith. So it's some kind of Suicide Squad. I was like, what?
I was gonna bring that
Did
up.
they really have to throw in the name of the movie that way?
Is that not just the most forced fucking diatribe you've ever heard in your life?
Dude, I heard it and I almost wanted to turn the trailer off. But I was like, no, everybody's talking about this end part with the Joker. Let me see how stupid fucking Jared Leto looks.
Oh yeah, dude, the new Joker. I mean, he just looked fucking
Dude.
stupid.
Dude, they are never... What the fuck are they thinking with this?
People online are like, oh, well, he actually looks quite creepy, and the way he looked at the camera was like, I don't want to kill you, I just want to hurt you. No, it looks fucking stupid.
Yeah, he still looks like he's just wearing lipstick.
Lipstick, green hair, tattoos.
Which he shouldn't have.
Ha 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 ha.
Ah, look at my fucking sleeve.
Yeah. And he's trying to talk like Heath Ledger, so that's mistake number one.
He's never gonna be that good.
No.
Sorry. But, I guess,
So-
whatever. Like I said, it's probably gonna do well.
Dude, I'm sure it's gonna do gangbusters.
But there's plenty of fucking movies that I think suck asshole that did great.
So we're both in agreement on Suicide Squad?
It's double no.
Double no.
Yeah, it's not gonna change anytime soon either.
I'll catch it when it comes out on Blu-ray. I'll rent
I'm
it.
not even going to give it that.
I'll watch it once. I'll give it a whirl and see what happens.
No, I'll watch it once, but I'm definitely not going to fucking buy it.
No, I won't buy it. I'll rent it or something.
Which brings me to another point. Something I didn't think about when we were talking about Terminator last week. Do you think once it comes to home sales, do you think it'll do better? Do you think people will be willing to give it more of a chance once it's like, oh, well, I'll just buy this because it's on sale? Like Tenacious D, when they did that movie, it did terrible in theaters.
It did.
But then it did massively well at home sales.
Yeah, and there's a lot of movies like that that have gone on to do really well in home video. So I mean,
cult classics.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. I don't know.
I really hope it does. Whatever. Sorry to bring it up again. Terminator's just never going to go away. Welcome to the Terminator cast. My name is Arnold.
So for Deadpool and X-Men Apocalypse, we didn't see the trailer.
I caught anything that was possibly leaked about Deadpool.
Yes.
I tried so hard to find that trailer.
So from what everybody said, it was amazing. The fans were chanting again. They played it a second time.
Dude, from what I've seen from the trailer, because I caught bits and pieces before they were pulled, I didn't get to see everything. I really want to see that fucking movie, like, so bad.
Yeah, from what I saw, it looked pretty good too. So,
and apparently, they just make sure you know in that trailer, this is a hard R. This isn't
definitely
something soft. This is going full on, foul mouth, gore everywhere.
Yeah.
So stoked for Deadpool.
Deadpool has a sex scene.
What?
Yeah.
I bet it is great.
I'm sure it is.
I might fap in theater.
Oh.
Again.
Oh, so we're going to go to that one together, right?
Yes.
All right.
Dick through the bottom of the popcorn always works.
So, X-Men Apocalypse, the trailer didn't get leaked, but we did get one still frame, and then the Entertainment Weekly cover came out, which was basically the exact same picture.
Yeah.
So, what did you think about that?
I'm a little more impressed with that movie than I thought I'd be.
All right, so let's
That was
hear
some
it.
good costume choices.
So, Psylocke looks amazing.
Yes, they usually fuck... And by the way, I think I just kicked that desk. I'm sorry if it pops. So, but, yeah, dude, I was actually impressed because you look at things like Galactus and things that didn't go so well getting translated into a movie. They look good. Psylocke looks old school.
Yeah.
That was what I was happy about with her.
So the only thing that concerns me is them going a little too literal with the comic book costumes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is that?
Because, I mean, I know it takes place in the 80s, so it kind of makes sense. Because, like, when you look at the first X-Men movie,
yeah,
there's a reason they didn't go yellow spandex. And they make a joke about it in the movie.
Yeah, of course.
Because it would have looked fucking ridiculous. So
I think they could have pulled it off, honestly. Not gonna lie to you.
But I think this Psylocke looks good. I think Storm looks really good.
I still hate Halle Berry.
It's not Halle Berry.
It's not?
No, it's a new actress.
No, because I read something about Halle Berry thinking that Storm needs her own movie.
Yeah, she did.
I figured
say
she
that.
was going to be in Apocalypse because of that statement.
All right, so yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So Halle Berry came out and was like, "Oh yeah, I think the fans really want to see a Storm, standalone movie, and I'd be down to do it. Let's get it done." And they were like, "Holly, there's a new actress playing Storm. You know that, right?"
That's funny.
Yeah. So not only is she not in this movie, it's a new actress playing her. If they did decide to do a spin-off movie, it's going to be the new actress. Halle Berry is a shitty Storm. So if you go back and watch,
It's not that she was a shitty.
No,
she
she's
actually did a good job in
no,
the first one.
no, she's shitty. Let me tell you why. So in the first one, she actually tries to do an African accent and fails miserably.
By the way, here comes some nerd rage. We don't get this often.
Never on this show.
Never. Fuck.
She tries to do an African accent and fails horribly at it.
Yeah.
So in the second one, it was like she tried again for the first half of the movie, and then the second half of the movie, they were just like, Holly, just don't even bother anymore. Just use your regular voice. And then the third one, she completely drops it and just uses a regular voice.
Yeah.
Horrible casting. Should have never been casted for that part.
She's Halle Berry. You want big names in your movie. That's pretty much what happened with that idea.
Yeah, and you know what happened with that? They had to pay her double for part 3, and look how that movie turned out.
There's still one thing very redeemable about part 3.
What?
The Juggernaut, bitch!
That line or the Juggernaut?
Just that line.
Okay, yeah,
No,
the
just
line.
that
Yeah.
line. I laughed my fucking ass off.
Yeah, the fact that that line made it into the movie is amazing.
Because wasn't he like trapped in the ground or some shit at that point in
Yeah.
the movie?
Yeah.
When he said that, I was like, did he just say that? And then, of course, which helped to breed something better than that movie, was the videos online.
No, the videos came first.
Did they?
Yeah, that's where they got that from.
Wait, what? They
Yeah.
took that from the video?
They took that from the...
So the best part of the movie wasn't even their own idea?
No, they got that from, and I'm trying to think of the group that
I
did
don't
it.
remember the group that did it either, and I'm
Yeah,
not going to try too
They
hard.
did Gangsta Power Rangers.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh my god, what was their fucking name?
The, I'm not going to say that name, but the Ninja Turtles parody, I
Yeah.
believe they did also.
No, they did the videos first, and then that movie came out.
Well, wow, that's terrible. I gave that company too much credit because I thought they made that line first.
No, I was so shocked that line made it in there because of that, because it came from those videos.
All right, well, fuck me, right? Let's move right along and fuck
Oh,
Halle Berry.
that's gonna kill me now with that fucking...
Yeah, because we used to be obsessed with their videos, too. We used to
Yeah.
watch them all the time.
I'm gonna have to check it on break and then get back to it.
Dude, you know, I've noticed a new trend. Every time we say that, we don't do it.
I know, right?
I just realized that last week.
I promise you, I have the best of intentions, and it
we
just never
always
happens.
want to do it, and then it's just like, meh.
All right, so that's pretty much it for the Comic-Con. Star Wars did a panel, but didn't really show anything new. They had a little like behind-the-scenes video, which apparently was pretty cute.
It was
but...
emotional.
All right, cool.
It made you really feel. It made your feels go off if you're a Star Wars fan.
All right, well,
It's basically just them showing how much work they're putting in to make this movie like more authentic and, you know, using more practical effects and things
Right,
about that.
right.
So it was really cool.
I'm sure I'll check it out. I just haven't yet.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
I'd give it that.
So 5 months till the movie comes out.
I'm actually getting more stoked about the movie than I thought I was originally.
Oh, I am so ready for this movie.
I'm so glad that it is no longer in George Lucas's dirty, stupid hands.
I know, right?
No offense, Mr. Lucas. If you want to pay me to say good things about you,
I'll gladly take your money.
call 1-800-PAY-ME, bitch. So
All right, so we're going to take a break. We're going to come back, talk about some Metal Gear Solid 3.
we might pee on each other.
Snake Eater.
Oh, it was the Bond era. Spoiler alert. Josh may be talking a bit more than me on this one because, as we mentioned last week, this is my least played Metal Gear.
Yeah, so it is my job in this segment to convince you this is a good game.
The more I thought about it on the way home, I do think it had probably the most emotional ending of the
For
Metal
sure,
Gear games.
and we're definitely going to talk about that.
I've watched the ending on YouTube a couple times just randomly because it's just like I'm in that kind of mood where I need some tears.
Yeah.
You know, it always brings the tears. It's a very emotional part.
All right.
We're out of here. We love you. We're gonna probably watch some Evo fights.
I don't love you.
Marvel.
Fuck you. I don't love you.
So supreme. I give my life not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. Someday you go through the rain, and someday you'll feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive for the day we see new light. I give my life not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else.
We have returned once again.
Annika,
Here
what are you
to talk
saying?
About our friends in the Metal Gear universe.
That's beautiful, man.
Thanks, dude. We're back.
So we're going to talk about Metal Gear Solid 3. So I think
Snake Eater.
for most people, I would say this is probably their least favorite.
No, actually, this is widely considered the best.
Really?
Yeah. Look it up online, dude.
Okay.
A lot of people love 3.
I remember when it came out and a lot of people saying, oh, it's really not that good.
Well, when it first came out, yeah, there was a lot of but once people actually played it and got in depth with the story and everything, because like we talked about off stream just a minute ago, we talked about it on stream actually at the end. It definitely has, like, it'll tug at your feels.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, and there's a lot of in-depth backstory parts.
All right, so let me ask you this first. Have you actually played through the game since you played through it at my house that one time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I played through it the same way I played at your house, though.
So you just went through and killed everything?
I just have fun. Yeah.
Okay. Did you play the original version?
Yes, before the re-release where they
Yeah.
made it like Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was it, Subsistence?
Yes. All right. So let's start at the beginning. So after Metal Gear Solid 2, Hideo Kojima was like, all right, I'm done. I'm not going to make any more Metal Gear games. Now this would go on to become a reoccurring theme.
More like, what are those things, those types of jokes called where they just keep happening? It's a reoccurring joke.
Okay. Yeah.
That's not the word I was looking for, but I'm not feeling like sitting here in silence trying to think.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think either. We're both fucking tired. I can tell you that.
Yeah, you can probably hear that in our voices. It's been a
long day.
rough weekend.
Yeah. So this was.
Man, we're fucking up everywhere.
So this was the first time that he was like, all right, I'm done. I'm not going to make any more Metal Gear games. And then they started making this one. And he was like, hey guys, remember when I said I wasn't going to be the director of this? You know what?
I'd totally do it.
I'm going to go ahead and do that.
So
he took over as the director for this one again. So
and something that we mentioned last week about him being a fan of U.S. cinema.
yes.
This heavily revolves around the James Bond series.
It does, but before we get to that, we have to talk about the demo.
Oh, yeah, the demo. That was great.
You and I were both super pumped about this game coming out. We found out there was a demo in a magazine.
Yeah, we found the magazine, and we got it, and it's not translated to English. I mean, well, it's translated.
The
It's
text
subtitled.
is. Yeah, the text is translated.
So, of course, we got our little laughs on, because it's like, Snicky, need jungle backpacker. And it's like, what?
So, for those of you who don't know anything about Japanese, if the Japanese language doesn't have a word for what we're saying, then they typically just take the word and put "oo" at the end. So there was a lot of "oo." So it was like "hashi hatabatabada snakey." It's like "hatabadi hatabatabada backpacker."
Backpacker. It was good times.
It was good times. So
That's so great.
So I think we played through the demo quite a bit. I mean, we played it.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
At least just that night.
Yeah, and we just ran around like doing as much as we possibly
we're
could.
just checking out every aspect of the game they're letting us play through.
Yeah. So then the day comes, the game finally comes out. We put it in the machine, and I remember it asked you at the very beginning. It's like, what was
Which one's your favorite Metal Gear?
What was your favorite Metal Gear? Metal Gear Solid 1 or 2? So we had a quick little discussion about it. We both agreed.
We
second.
jumped ship straight to 2.
Yeah.
And then they blew our fucking minds.
For about 5 seconds. So the game starts, you parachute down, and you take your little breathing respirator off.
It was the cool sequence. You got to give it credit. That's the first
Oh,
time they
yeah,
started
absolutely.
doing it. It's like the press this button and you'll get like the first person viewpoint
Yeah,
while
so
you're
it's like
skydiving.
an interactive cutscene kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's like while you're watching him skydive, you can just randomly switch to actually looking through his eyes and seeing him going down closer to the ground. It was like, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, definitely. And that whole scene was cool because it was, game-wise, it was, they said it was the first Halo jump in history.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a cool scene.
Sorry that my voice just squeaked like a little mouse, but...
Like John Connor.
Ooh. Hey! Now I just want to ride my dirt bike.
Get the gun!
Let's go to the fucking arcade. I can hack the ATM! But, no.
So, he drops down off the parachute, he takes his little breathing respirator off.
He kind of fucked up on the landing, but he made it.
Yeah, well.
And there's Raiden.
There's Raiden. What the fuck?
The fuck just happened?
Like, mind blown.
We've been sitting here for months watching footage of this game with Snake, and it's like he rips the mask off, and it's Raiden.
Yeah, so this game takes place, 45, 50 years before Metal Gear Solid 2.
About
Yeah.
the Cold War.
So it's like, how the fuck is Raiden in this game? He wasn't born yet.
And then a couple seconds later, he just is like, God, just take this mask off. I'm actually Snake.
Yeah, so it was a Raiden mask.
Like, did they? They probably did. I don't remember. But did they explain why you decided just to do the drop with a mask on if you picked that one?
No, although it does help you later on in the game.
It does come in handy
Yeah.
because somebody down the road decides to look like Raiden somehow.
Yeah, and you have to take his clothes and assume his identity, and if you have the mask, it helps you out.
Which, by the way, is probably the funniest fucking scene in the game.
Oh, we will definitely get to that.
Okay.
Alright.
It's
So-
definitely probably my most noteworthy moment besides the river. I'll quote the river that way.
Okay. So, your objective on this mission is to go and you're in Russia,
Yes.
and it's to retrieve this nuclear scientist.
Yes.
So this is something we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks while we've been doing this retrospective, which is the fucking accents.
Yes.
So in Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, everybody had an accent appropriate for where they are from.
Yes.
And in this game, you're in Russia.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to hear some sweet Russian accents.
Which also connects to what we were talking about before, where Metal Gear Solid 1 Twin Snakes came after 2, correct?
Yes, correct.
Which is where the trend actually started.
Yeah.
Because no accents.
No accents. No sweet Russian accents in this one, buddy. Everybody sounds like they're from fucking
Oh,
wherever.
you're from the heart of Russia. How's it going? I'm doing all right.
Yeah,
How you doing?
I'm doing great, Snake. Thanks for asking.
Huh. Accents are a thing of the past.
You shoot something, you shoot a tree just to get a guard's attention. He's like, huh? What was that?
Yes, every Russian is American.
Who knew?
Who knew?
So that was one thing that it's, even when I go back and play it now, it just bugs the living fuck out
Yeah,
of me.
we both love the series, and that's definitely one of the big
Yeah.
moments for me is just they did such a good job of staying authentic. And I don't know if that's Kojima, per se,
I don't know.
but the translation team for, like, oh, dude, I just got this weirdest thought. It's like, what does a Russian accent sound like when you're speaking Japanese? Because they had to have done accents for those characters, right?
I would assume so, yeah.
Oh, there's so many weird things I'm wondering about now.
So, alright, well, the fucking accents suck. We can both agree on that.
Being gone suck, not
Yeah.
the accents suck.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, what did they do for Mei Ling in Metal Gear 1?
I don't know.
Because in the American version, she's like, oh, hi, Snake!
Yeah.
It was like,
She's
they were
like
totally...
super Asian.
Yeah. Like, it's supposed to be a Japanese version of an American... What did they do? All right, we got to move on. I'll sit here all day.
Alright. So,
Accents are gone.
Alright, so I will say the first time I played through this game, I was kind of with you. I was like, it was okay. Not my favorite. Probably my least favorite.
There are so many background things to find in that game.
There are, but it wasn't actually until I played Sustenance where I was like, okay. Because Metal Gear Solid 3, they
For the
always...
record, I did not play Sustenance.
Okay. So, Metal Gear Solid has always done a top-down perspective.
Yes.
And that's worked in Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 because you have the little radar in the upper screen, you can see where all the guys are, you can see which direction
Pretty much
they're looking.
everything was also corridor-based.
Yes.
I mean, there were open environments, but for the most part, you're doing a lot of hallways, a lot of stint-off sections
Yeah.
of buildings.
Yeah, like buildings, yeah.
Yeah. Which 3 is not that. at
No,
all.
you're-
going through the fucking jungle.
You are in the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle! We
Where-
got this game!
Camouflage is very important, and being able to see what's coming up is very important, and with a top-down view, obviously you can't do that.
Not at all.
So when Metal Gear Solid 3 first came out, it was just top-down view, and that was it.
And you're constantly radar pinging.
Yeah, and yeah, there's no legit radar in that game, so you have a little sonar thing, which you can press R3 to beep out,
Yeah.
and it does that,
And it
but
gives you an idea of your surroundings.
Yeah.
But that's about as far as that goes.
yeah.
It's an idea.
So it wasn't until Sustenance where they made a third-person perspective, and it changed the entire game, and it really opened the game up And it was like, okay, this is what this game is supposed to be like. So I didn't even really enjoy the game until that happened.
I'm yawning. Could you? Sorry.
That was a huge yawn.
Oh man, it was coming out just as you stopped, and I was like, "Fuck." No, I can see what you're saying because that's to me that was a lot of the turn off of the game is because you have such wide open areas to work with. It's like you can't. The screen is so limited from the top down perspective.
Yeah,
It's like-
there's like one scene where you're climbing up the side of a mountain,
Yeah,
and from a top-down perspective, that looks balls.
yeah, basically.
So,
It worked out pretty well though for the large ladder sequence.
yes, it did.
Another highlight of that game to me.
All right, so the mission-wise, you're going in to get this Russian scientist. You're going to bring him back to America. You're going to bring his family over. You're going to help him out.
Yeah, America, fuck you. Sorry.
So when you get into the mission, you know, your name is Snake, and your mentor is
Your
the boss.
naked snake.
Your naked Snake. Your mentor is the boss. Everybody calls her the boss
Hey,
because
man.
she's just that much of a badass.
She must be the sauce boss then. Let's do it.
She's
Shout
the
outs
boss.
to Epic Mealtime. You guys are still relevant?
No.
Sorry.
So the boss is giving you like tips as you're going along. So you get the scientist, you're walking him back to the extraction point, and then all of a sudden the boss shows up, and you're like, "What? What the fuck?"
She's got 2 big old cases with her, too.
She's carrying 2 giant suitcases.
That's her drama, by the way.
Yeah. She's carrying 2 giant suitcases. She lays them down on the bridge. You almost fall off the bridge because it's a little rope bridge. Keep in mind, this is like 1968 or whatever.
Yeah. They ain't gonna have those big fucking wire framed out bridges that we have nowadays.
No, not at all.
They got rope, motherfucker.
She drops the thing down. She basically disarms you very easily, takes your
Very
gun apart.
quickly with some wonderfully executed, now established CQC.
Yes. Snake. Try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Which becomes a very huge part of the series from that point forward.
Yes, it does.
We can say that now because we have 3, 4, and some of 5.
Some of 5, yeah. So, you know, this whole thing is going on, and you're like, what the fuck? What's going on? Why is the boss betraying you? Why is she betraying your country? So, Colonel Volgin comes out, who's like the leader of the Russian resistance.
He had one sweet accent.
Sure.
He didn't have.
He kind of sounded Russian. Or no, he kind of sounded German, actually.
Yeah.
It's like, Kurabara, Kurabara.
Yeah, he did have that. Oh,
Yeah.
it made me think back when that part happened. It was like a flashback to the lolly lule lo.
It kind of was, yeah.
So
So, the boss disarms you, throws you over the bridge.
you steal her bandana. I believe?
Yeah, as you're falling, you kind of take the bandana off her head, and it falls down with you. Which Snake fashions into a arm splint, or arm sling, I guess it would be.
Yes, this is also the first Metal Gear to involve permanent damage that you have to actually fix on the fly.
Yes. So yeah, let's talk about that for a second, because
Sure.
that was actually pretty revolutionary.
That was actually really cool to me.
Yeah. So like if you fell, you know, really hard and like hurt your leg, you would have to apply first aid to take care of that leg.
Yeah, you'd have to, in that case, fashion a splint to be able to keep your leg from jarring too hard.
Yeah, and if you got shot and the bullet stayed in your leg, you had to equip the knife, take the bullet out.
Yep.
You had to disinfect the wound, you had to suture the wound, you had to bandage it up, you had to apply, you know, ointment.
And basically, in situations where it's like you're in a firefight, if you get shot or something,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and you don't have the chance to sit there and fix yourself up, you have bandages to stop the bleeding because your damage just keeps racking up
Yes.
until you stop these things.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
And we should also talk about, and we talked about it a little bit when we were
The
talking about
stamina?
Tomb Raider. Yeah, the whole you have to find food thing.
Yeah, basically throughout the game, you have a stamina bar that's going to affect your, like, the biggest effect I noticed when I played the game was aiming down the sights and things like that. If your stamina is really low, you are not going to have a stable shot at all.
No, not at all. The crosshairs keep moving around. It's very hard to aim.
Yeah,
but,
so sniping is pretty much out of the picture if you're not taking care of yourself.
it can also give away your position because if you're really hungry, your
Your stomach,
your
yeah.
stomach will actually growl and
Soldiers
guards
can
will
hear
hear it.
you.
Yeah.
Now, And yeah, that was really cool. And I like the fact that you actually have to maintain the food you had.
Yeah.
Your food could go bad if you were just like, oh, let me just hold on to these fucking rations of snake and rations of snake.
Yeah, if you kill a snake and, keep it with you for long enough, it'll eventually spoil, and if you eat it, you'll get sick.
Yeah, there were so many cool surviving techniques that they were implementing it, where it became its own game itself.
Yeah, and I really like the whole camo index thing that they did, and I'm
They did,
really sad the new one doesn't have that.
They kind of did that with 4, but they did a super lazy version. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it was kind of lazy.
Whereas 3, at times it could feel monotonous because you're going from spot to spot, and you could be in one spot for 15 seconds where you're trying to creep. And as soon as you're out, you have to completely go back through all your camouflage and start swapping out.
Yeah.
But in the end, did it work? Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked. It was awesome. I liked it.
And that's one of my favorite aspects about that game.
Yeah, so they had a lot of new systems. For the first time, Metal Gear. New systems. Whereas I believe the only system update in 2 was pull-ups.
Yeah.
Was that in 1 too?
I think you could do it in 1. I'm not sure if it actually increased your grip gauge.
I don't think it did. I think the grip gauge increase came from Solid 2.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, yeah, that was really cool to see them, we want to make this new game. We got a lot to go on. We're actually going to innovate on the gameplay.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get any naked cartwheels, but it was still good.
So the boss kicks your ass.
Yes, she does.
Throws you over the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to figure out why. So during this time, you find out what's in the actual cases she was carrying around were 2 miniature nuclear warheads.
Yep, and guess what happens after that?
Colonel Volgan decides to test this out.
Because he has to prove that he's a complete fucking asshole.
Yeah, so he fires one off.
Blows up the base you saved the scientist from.
Yeah. And that's pretty much the end of that mission.
And doesn't it have a backlash on America in the story?
It does.
And it's like, oh, America did this. And it's like, no, we did not.
Yeah. So you're being told now that the boss has gone rogue. She's provided these nukes. You have to go in now and stop her.
She has betrayed America.
She has betrayed America.
She is a defector.
So it's like a month later or whatever, and you're going back into Russia now to take down Colonel Volgan as well as the boss.
Your mission is to kill your mentor.
Yes.
How could this happen to me?
So,
Snake is all about it, though. He wants to find out what the fuck has happened here.
Yeah, he's going into this thinking, no, this can't be right. There's a way I can get the boss back. This can't be correct.
We forgot to mention that also at the time where you get knocked off the bridge and everything, you also get to meet your villains.
Yes.
She has brought her squad in with her.
Yes, and they each represent a facet of war. So you have the pain, the fear, the fury, the sorrow, the end.
Well done.
Yeah.
I was expecting at least more thinking out of that. You did a great job.
Yeah. So those are your 5 faces of war, I guess you would say.
Or you could just call them what they were as your 5 bosses you're going to end up fighting.
Yeah, 5 bosses you have to fight. It's a Metal Gear game.
Of course. Cut to next part of game.
Well, let's talk about the bosses for a second. So what did you think about them?
I thought they had some really creative ideas, especially with the sorrow in the end. They did some really cool fourth wall stuff with those 2.
Yeah.
I don't entirely remember what the other 3 were. I know what they did, but I don't remember the names attached to them. They weren't the big standouts to me.
Yeah.
Like, when I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's the sorrow, there's the end, and then there's B guy, flamethrower guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The standouts were the 2.
So I always felt like this was one part where the game kind of let me down a little bit because
they were a little lackluster.
The bosses in Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 had their own backstory as far as why they were there and everything. And the bosses in this one was kind of like, well, they're there because they followed the boss.
True. And by the way, let's give a quick throwback to last week. We completely ignored the existence of Vamp.
Yeah, we
didn't mention him at all.
We didn't, and he plays a big part in 4.
Yeah, but, quick throwback. No, you can't kill him. You shoot him in the fucking head. He doesn't die.
Yeah, you shot him right in between the eyes with a sniper rifle, and he didn't die.
It's like, wow, what the fuck? And that was during the scene where you're escorting E through the water, who was apparently afraid of water because she almost drowned.
Yeah.
Something about fucking his mom without a gun. I don't know. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Yeah.
Back to 3.
All right. So you go back into Russia. Your objective: hunt down Colonel Volgan, hunt down the boss, and
You get there in your sweet, sweet little fucking ride you got there.
yeah, they like shoot him off in a rocket or something.
Yeah, it was
like
crazy.
Yeah. So the boss shows up and basically, again, she disarms you, destroys your gun, and it's like, look, just leave. You can't beat me. Just get the fuck out of here.
She doesn't like your ride. She shoots it up.
Yes, she does.
And that crazy fucking Tommy gun looking motherfucker. We
Yeah.
should have looked up what kind of gun that is because the ammunition's spinning sideways while it's firing in slow-mo. Yeah, she basically just kicks your ass again.
Yeah.
Makes you look like a complete bitch.
So as you're going through, you also meet Ocelot for the first time. So Ocelot is a very young commander in the, they call it the GRU Army, which I don't remember what GRU stands for. But it's Volgan's army.
G-name, recruited unit, whatever. We
Yeah,
made it
sure.
up. We'll do it live.
Yeah.
Oh, I did too, that recently? Man, I'm fucking up.
So you meet Ocelot for the first time, and he's actually using like a semi-automatic pistol.
Semi-automatic pistol, and the bullet gets jammed while he's fighting Snake.
Yeah, so he tries to do all this crazy, like, fancy shit with it, and he goes to fire it, and the gun jams on him. And
He gets disarmed pretty quick.
Snake disarms him, throws him to the ground, and he's like, your technique is more in line for a revolver.
The crazy part about that is it proves one thing, that even though you're Snake and everything, you're sitting there with these encounters with the boss where you look useless.
Yeah.
But then he fights somebody else who isn't the boss, and he just makes him look like a bitch. So it's like,
Yeah.
that gives you another good stand-in idea of how much of a badass the boss is.
Yeah. So Snake's like beating everybody's ass, but yet the boss...
The boss just makes... It's like, oh yeah, you're a joke to me. Don't even try to fight.
Yeah. So you meet Ocelot for the first time. So basically, you're going in, you're supposed to meet a contact named Adam.
Yes, and
Adam never shows up.
you do, however, get Eve.
You get Eve. Adam and Eve. Hey.
She's got some sweet cleavage, brah.
Yeah, so you can do the little R1 trigger thing to go first person and look right at her
Look
boobs.
at her boobs.
Yeah,
Which I did
many times.
till the R1 button was no longer available.
So she basically proves herself by taking out these other soldiers that have come to attack you, and
With the cool sweeping attack where she used the kick of the gun to go sideways
yeah,
and she shot.
yeah, it was pretty cool. But Snake was like, who are you? I'm supposed to meet Adam. She's like, oh, well, Adam couldn't.
Adam
make
couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and then you never question her ever again.
she's... Did say her nationality because I know who she was working for. But
I don't.
I don't
know
remember
if
her
it did.
nationality.
Yeah,
So I guess it was just American
yeah,
since he figured he'd be dealing with an American.
yeah. So you find out later on. Well, she's actually a triple agent.
Yeah, this bitch is working for everybody.
So she is part of Colonel Volgan's army. She's helping you out.
And then there's somebody in the background.
Yeah, which you'll find out later.
So, you get through all that. She leaves. Bye.
Yeah, and that's the major plot points. I mean, you go through and you fight all the bosses, of course, but you really don't learn anything new until you get to the end.
Yeah, they
And I
save a
remember
lot for it.
I remember you and I talking about that, like, okay, when are we going to get to Metal Gear? Okay, we now know there's a Metal Gear. When are we going to get to the rest of the story? And you really don't hear anything new until the end.
Yeah, it literally is like a straightforward run.
It really is.
Well, straightforward. It's an open area.
Yeah.
But for the most part, story-wise, it's like you're here to do this. You do this.
yeah.
Things start to come together many hours later as you're going through the game. Like, you find out so many random things that you didn't see coming.
No.
Like, we'll talk about one. Ocelot, you find out who his mother is in the game. But you don't find out directly.
Correct.
It's something you have like a listening device, right?
Yeah.
And you come to listen to everything going on and who they're talking about, and as they're talking about it, you come to find out that she has had a son. He's been around for a while.
Yeah.
He's actually, in the military.
Yeah. And you kind of put two and two. Well, obviously you can put two and two together and figure out who it is, but you kind of get the assumption that the boss knows that this is her son.
And the crazy part about it is he is a huge part of the story.
Yeah.
Fucking Revolver Ocelot.
Yeah. So Revolver.
They never
Ocelot,
directly say it, but
Yeah, you can put two and two together.
they don't make it hard to connect. Revolver Ocelot is actually the boss's son.
Yeah. So, and again, you, like the way she acts towards him, you can kind of get that she knows it's her son, but he has no idea.
Yeah, you can tell that she's not going to be like, by the way, I'm your mom.
Right.
So, and it's really cool, like, because I didn't even know that at first. It was you who actually showed, like, you had it on a save file at that point, and you loaded it up, and you let me listen to the conversation, because when you get to the end of the game, spoiler for the fucking retrospective, she has a massive scar.
Yeah.
And
Which
it's
looks like a
basically-
snake.
Yeah, and it's basically where they pulled her child. It was like a really bad C-section.
Yeah.
Really bad.
So she actually gave birth on the battlefield, and that's one of her big things. Like, she is so connected to war. She gave
Wouldn't
birth
even
on the
stop.
battlefield.
She wouldn't even stop for being pregnant.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not something that's directly there. You have to actually find this stuff
Yeah.
to find all these connections to be like, that's her kid.
Yep.
So in that part, that's just crazy because they make it that much more connected by that. Because like we said, there's not a lot of huge story developments for 1 and 2 for this, but the backstory they start to give towards the end of the game, really cool.
Right.
So, Ocelot is the boss's kid, and the boss's kid spends pretty much his whole life trying to be like and chasing this version of the boss and his clones.
Yeah.
So how crazy connected is that? That name alone just haunts his legacy.
All right. So let me think of where we are here. All right. So
We're still very early.
we are, but like I said, I mean, there's a lot you can skip because a lot doesn't happen in the story. Like, you fight all the bosses, but pretty much until you get to the point where you're sneaking into the facility to disarm the Metal Gear, Snake gets captured.
Yeah, we can jump to one thing that's really cool before that.
What's that?
You can actually take out the end before you ever fight him.
Yes, you can, which I tend to do every time.
Small sequence where you're just basically watching them from like across a river or some
Yeah.
shit. But if you have your sniper rifle there, you see the end in his wheelchair because he is in a wheelchair. You can just pull out your sniper rifle and end him right there.
Yep.
He doesn't even have to be a boss. You can kill him before he's ever a threat.
Correct.
That's really awesome. How many games do you know ever did that?
Never.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, I can interact with this sequence even though it's supposed to be kind of movie. Let me see what happens if I shoot him.
Yeah.
Oh, I just fucking killed him.
Otherwise, you have to go into a very long sniper battle.
Very long fight. And also another way to avoid.
Yeah. So you can actually, if you save the game and
During
then
the fight,
wait a week in real time.
you come back and he dies of old age.
Yeah. So there's two ways to not fight him.
And we originally did fight him, and
Yeah.
fuck that fight. Oh
Yeah.
my god, it is... You have to pay a lot of attention. I guess you could... In my opinion, it was monotonous.
It is, although I found out later on that if you get the thermal goggles, it's
Yeah, you
so
see
much
footprints.
easier. Yeah, and you can just follow them around. It's so much easier.
It's so much easier, but at the same time, it's one-on-one jungle hunting each other down. Both parties still trying to keep themselves out of perspective and keep moving, but
Right.
hard-ass fight if you don't know any of the sweet spots or tricks around it.
Yeah.
But
But
hey,
one
if
of the,
you
one
wanted
of the
this
most
one
memorable,
section,
though.
you just go ahead and kill him. Don't fucking bother.
No, it's one of the most memorable fights in the series, I would say, though.
It's memorable. Would I do it again? No. I did it once. I'm good. So, alright. You move along. Yeah, it's basically a straight shot. There's a couple of plot points, like we're completely missing the part we said we bring up with the fucking guy that looks like Raiden.
Well, that's when you go into the base.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
go into the base to disarm the Metal Gear. To get into the base, you have to disguise yourself
Yeah.
as Lieutenant Reidenkov or something like that. It's
I don't
really
know.
close to his
I
name.
don't remember the name, but I just remember that it is awkward.
It is very awkward.
Yes, you disguise yourself, but you don't know how much of a close relationship this person has to
Colonel Volgin?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yes, Volgin.
Yeah,
Sager
so you
Lukovich.
find out that Lieutenant Reidenbach or Reidenbitch or whatever his name
Riding
is.
bitch.
Yeah, he is Reidenbitch
Yeah.
because he likes to get in bed with Volgan.
Apparently.
Which there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's not. But when you're going in just thinking you're a guy who's working for a guy and he reaches down and grabs your junk,
Yeah, and he's like, "You're not Breidovich."
I can tell by the size of your cock.
Very
It's-
awkward scene.
It was so awkward because he's just standing there and it's just like he grabs you by the dick and it's
Yeah.
like, did you just grab his dick?
Yeah.
And he pulls away and he's just looking at him. He does it again and it's like, just keeps grabbing my dick.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Snake gets captured,
Yes, he does.
and we have a scene where Revolver Ocelot is doing his little
He's
juggling
starting to
thing.
think he likes his, he's starting to learn more about torture.
Yeah,
You know, he should probably calm it down. There might be a time where he might take it too far.
maybe.
He might accidentally kill somebody.
Maybe.
Cut to decoy octopus. No. Kidding.
So in this one, he's juggling his revolvers around, so he has one bullet and one gun, and he's just juggling them around and randomly firing them to see which one goes off. And the boss, of course, knows this one's about to go off and goes to stop him, and Snake kind of rushes him a little bit and ends up getting shot in the eye.
That is going to put a damper on your day.
A little bit.
Just a little one.
So, in the original Metal Gear games, Big Boss always had a
An eye
patch over
patch.
his eye, and this one you figure out how that happened.
And dude, when it happened, it was definitely like, oh, it
Yeah.
finally happened.
And another cool thing that they did is if you look in first-person perspective from then on, it's always a little bit shaded on the right side, so you can't quite see all the way.
Oh, Hideo,
Yeah.
you're such the thinker. So, yeah, and it's basically subtle plot twists throughout.
Yeah.
Or, well, more background story, like I said.
Yeah. So, well, let's cut to the chase. So, you eventually...
Yeah, the chase, literally.
Yeah. So, you escape from custody, I guess you would say, from
Yes.
captivity. So, you go meet up with Eve. You go back in to destroy the Metal Gear.
Not to mention they actually did figure out who Eve was that she was betraying.
Well, we'll get to that.
Didn't that already happen?
No, not yet. We'll get to
I
that.
thought that did happen at
No.
that point. My bad.
So you go back in to destroy the Metal Gear. Colonel Volgan takes control, chases you out of the base. Then it's a one-on-one fight between you and Volgan and the Metal Gear. So you destroy the Metal Gear yet again. And then Volgan is about to... He has the power of electricity. With they never really explain how that's possible.
They also never explain why the bullets he's holding is like knuckles, like spiked knuckles, never fire.
Yeah.
Which I would believe they would with an electric current running through the
You would
charge.
think. Yeah.
So,
So basically, he's going to do that to Snake. He has the bullets
bullets
in his
held-
knuckle.
yeah.
Yeah, he's going to fire him at Snake, and then a bolt of lightning comes down, and all the bullets he's wearing around his chest, around his waist, go off at one time, and fill him with 10,000 holes at one time. So it was kind of ironic that somebody who could control lightning got struck by a bolt of lightning and got killed.
all the ammunition he was holding, which he had lightning running through, finally it was just like popcorn. Pop,
Yeah.
pop, 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 pop.
So you then have to escape that scene with Eve.
Yes.
And the motorcycle crashes, and you have to do an escort quest, essentially. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that part of the game, for sure.
I hate escort quests.
So you get to the end, you're going to escape on this plane, and then you look back and you see the boss. So the boss is standing there waiting for you. And you go over to her, you start talking to her, and she's like, nothing you do matters, you have to finish your mission. And you're still trying to reason with her. You're like, why the fuck are you doing this?
Why do I have to kill you?
Yeah, I don't have to finish my mission. You can come with me right now and be done with this.
Dude, then you definitely did just skip over what I tried to tell you about. How
What?
Galukovich's army figured out who Eve was.
Oh, well, yeah, his army did. I thought you were talking about Snake.
No. I was talking about how they figured it out, and I believe Ocelot's the one who said the way he figured it out is because she smelled like
gas,
gasoline.
Yeah. Yeah, so,
So they knew who Eve was at that point.
Volgan figured out that she was working with Snake. Yeah.
So yeah, little throwback. Continue. Cut to very epic boss fight.
Very epic boss fight. so
Makes
it's-
up for a lot of the boss fights.
Yeah.
Even though we did skip the one that you laugh at me about.
What's that?
The river.
Oh, yeah.
The Sorrow.
So the Sorrow is kind of a boss fight, but not really.
He's a boss
so-
fight, but not really. And it is one. If you hadn't told me how to get out of that situation, I would have lost.
So here's the thing. I played through it and I got to this boss fight and I was like, shit, wish I hadn't have done all those things that I did, because it made it a lot more difficult.
He decided not to inform me as he watched me go on my killing spree.
So with Metal Gear Solid 3, they came up with the idea that you could basically slit somebody's throat. So you could put them in a chokehold like you could in Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2.
Instead of the neck crack, you have the ability to either put them to sleep or just fuck it, kill
Slit their
them.
throat, yeah. So David, of course, is running around slitting everybody's throat.
David likes to watch the blood fucking spew out every time, and it's like,
Isn't that great?
I'm invincible.
So you get to the fight with the Sorrow, and it's basically a battle against ghosts.
Anyone that you have killed up to this point is waiting for you.
So I had only killed like maybe
You were
15,
stealthy.
16 people
You were
through my time
stealthy.
here.
I murdered anyone that got near me.
Yes, so you were literally walking down this river.
When I started in the river, it was pretty much just ghosts everywhere. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
You were like, Josh, what do I do? And I was like, remember all those people you killed? Yeah.
Here they are.
Yeah.
And basically, in the end, even if you killed a lot, if you didn't, it's cool that they did have an option where if you killed a bunch of people, they were all there. But in the end, it doesn't matter.
No, it really doesn't.
You die.
Yeah. It says game over.
You have the ability to pull up your fucking inventory, though,
Yes.
which
So-
is something that flashes back to the very beginning of this second mission.
Yes, so they gave you an item at the very beginning. You had a fake death pill and a revival pill. So you had a pill that would cause you to feign death and a pill that would revive you from that.
Yes. I believe you end up just fucking popping pills, bro.
So you're sitting there at the end, it says game over, so you're like, fuck, what do I do? You hit continue, you have to do the whole thing over again, which I let you do once. So not only did you have to go through it one time, you hit continue
Yeah.
and went through it a second time.
I was just going to let that part stay out. Thank you.
So when it gets to the end and says game over, you actually have to push the inventory button, bring up your inventory, use the revival pill, and it brings yourself back to life. And you continue the game.
Did we ever check? I don't believe you can do it, but did we ever check to see if you can use that pill at any other time?
I'm sure you can, but I've never tried it.
You're sure I can?
Sure you can.
Sorry, they had Street Fighter on the screen. So, yeah, that was a really cool idea.
It was, yeah, definitely.
Especially the look on my face when I saw how many ghosts were in that river.
Oh, who knows? Hundreds.
There were so many people. There were little rabbits and snakes and shit. It was crazy.
Alright, so we're fighting the boss. Epic
Yep.
boss fight.
Epic boss fight. Fields of fucking flowers.
Fields of white flowers everywhere, so there's really no place to hide, although there is a snow camouflage you can get, which helps a lot in that battle.
Jesus, they thought of everything.
They did think of everything. So essentially, the boss is shooting at you. You have to try to work your way in close. Use CQC to take her down, and then pop her once in the head. So you do that a couple times, and you eventually win. So she actually gives you her gun and says, you have to end this, you have to finish your mission. And still you're like, why the fuck do I have to finish this mission? Like, why? Why has it come to this? It doesn't make any sense. You still don't know why she's defective.
She's not going to tell you either.
She's not going to tell you. You cap her in the head, and
The field goes red.
yeah.
Oh, the flowers. So sad.
All the flowers turn red, so it's a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very visceral, I guess you would say, scene. Yeah,
It's using the visceral actions in a sense of beauty.
yeah,
Because the flowers, it looks gorgeous.
it does, yeah.
And just watching it all change from that one shot is just like, killed her. And of course, at this point, you're still kind of like, well, it sucks. She's been through a lot, but I had to kill her.
Yeah, like
You're not
there was
really-
no other way. I had to finish my mission, had to do my duty.
You're really not that emotionally invested in it.
Yeah.
It kind of is like, damn, that really sucks. And then you start to get the ending.
Well, hold on, you get on the plane,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden one of the engine goes out, and you
Oh,
find
that
out,
asshole.
yeah, Ocelot has made it onto the plane with you.
And he is obsessed with you at this point.
He really is. He's like, no, you're not leaving until we finish this.
And it comes down to a fucking round of one in the chamber.
Yeah, so he puts the one bullet that jammed on him when he first went to kill you. He takes that off because he's been wearing it as a necklace. He takes it off, puts it in one of the guns, juggles them, sets one on the left, one on the right, and then you actually have to choose which one to pick. So I don't remember which one you actually picked.
I know it doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I mean, either way, you go to shoot him and the bullet goes off and you miss, or he shoots you and the bullet misses. Either way, somebody misses.
Yeah.
So, and he kind of, goes up and he's like, so what's your real name?
I love that.
What does he tell him?
That I couldn't tell you.
Oh, man, I've played through it like 3 times. I should know that.
That's a random thought. Well, we can just add it to our backlog and we'll check it in break and tell you when we get back. 'Cause we didn't do it with the last shit we said either.
No, we did.
Bam!
I know Boss calls him Jack, but I know he tells Ocelot something else, and I can't remember what he tells him.
David Hayter.
Either way, Ocelot is like, hey, you're pretty good, we'll meet again, and then he jumps out of
And
the
he
plane.
leaves.
So, with him jumping out of the plane now has less weight on it, so the plane can take off. So you escape to what you think is a happy ending with you and Eve.
Oh. Insert sex.
Yes, there was lots of sex.
There was definitely some inserting.
You didn't see it, but
It happened.
it happened.
With alcohol.
It makes
having-
everything better.
We were having some wine, I believe.
So you wake up the next day, Eve is now gone.
That
But-
dirty bitch.
I know, right?
Hey, whoa.
She did leave you some crabs, though.
Oh. It's definitely Merlin. You know, we completely forgot to talk about the prophets. Prophets.
No,
The
I'm gonna
philosophers.
talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So Eve has left you a video recording,
Audio.
audio recording.
Hey,
Sorry,
it's the 60s,
Yeah,
man.
it's the '60s. No video. So she's left you an audio recording on like an old school tape deck, and you start listening to it.
She's basically like, hey, bitch, I like you, but I got shit to do.
So everything that's been going on, it's also people can get their hands on what they call the Philosopher's Legacy.
Which is basically just like a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. So it's a microfilm that contains the whereabouts of this hidden cache of money. And you find out the philosophers were China, Russia, and the United States.
Yes.
They each had, I want to say, 4 members each.
Yeah. 12 members. you
Yeah,
say.
12 members. So they all pulled their resources together after World War II and said, okay, we're going to use this to basically keep control of the world. We're going to be able to buy elections. We're going to buy whatever weapons we need, so on and so forth. The original members of the philosophers started dying out. So the group got smaller and smaller. Nobody knows where these hidden funds are except for the people that have this microfilm. So this whole story is basically Colonel Volgan is trying to find this microfilm. Eve's trying to get the microfilm, and she kind of tells you, hey, I've been working for the Chinese the whole time. Ha ha.
She tells you that after the sex.
Yes, after the sex.
And the leaving.
So she actually leaves with the Philosopher's Legacy because you were able to get it from Volgan. So she's like, yep, I've been working for the Chinese the whole time, so all this money's going to China. Haha.
It was fun while it lasted, bro.
But she also leaves you with another bit of information.
Yes, she does.
So she basically tells you this is why the boss had to do what she did. Because her mission was to find the Philosopher's Legacy.
For America!
Fuck yeah!
Did she find it? Yes.
So she actually went to Volgan with these 2 nuclear devices, which we talked about at the beginning of the story. And she said one thing happened that nobody predicted was Volgan actually fired an American-made nuclear warhead inside Russian territory.
Which set up the story of us getting blamed.
So you actually go to a phone call between the Russian president and the American president, and the American president is like, I assure you we had nothing to do with this, even though we did. I assure you we had nothing to do with this, and he says, well, you're going to have to prove it. You're going to have to send one of your own in to kill the boss. We're not going to do it for you.
And did he say Volgan too? Or?
I don't know if he said Volgan or not.
Yeah, the boss has to die. And
He said the boss has to die.
the
And
boss knew this the whole time.
The boss knew this, so
She was still on a mission, though, and you have to fulfill your mission.
Right. So as she's being branded as this traitor to her country, you find out that she was actually
Probably one of the most patriotic soldiers of all time.
You couldn't be more patriotic than she was, because she understood her mission was now to take the blame for this nuclear attack and to be killed by her
While
apprentice.
at the same time still trying to find the legacy.
Correct. And make sure that you got it.
How fucked up is that? And she followed it to a fucking T.
Yeah, so the game pretty much ends. You see Snake go into the Oval Office, and
They're trying to congratulate him on his mission and everything while
Right.
he's dealing with this cache of fucking... In his eyes, I'm guessing it would be seen more as like a betrayal.
right, from his perspective, it was betrayal by the country against a great soldier like the boss.
Which sets in the inner markings for the creation of the original Outer Haven, but we'll leave that alone for now.
Yeah.
Because it still takes another game or two.
So you see him getting the medal pinned on him, and he's like, "You are truly one who's above the boss. You will be granted the title of Big Boss."
And they go to shake his hand, and he's just like, you know,
He just walks away.
no, fuck you
Doesn't
guys.
shake the president's hand, walks out of the room, goes to the grave of the boss, where
That's where the feels really start to hit you.
there's no markings. There's no markings on the grave. It just says, "Here lies a true patriot."
Yep.
So
And-
even just saying that, I just gave myself goosebumps.
Yeah, I got him too. I wasn't
So
going to say anything.
he lays the gun down on her grave,
The
and
gun she gave him.
yeah, and salutes the grave, and a tear rolls down his eye.
And they
As-
got like the most epic fucking music of all time going off. In the
yeah,
background.
it's so tear.
Everything that they did during that section of the game was fucking killing me.
It was, yeah.
And that's what I was saying. It was like, I can say it might be my least favorite, but it probably hit my feels the hardest.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite ending out of any of them for sure.
It definitely didn't really give you too much of a cliffhanger.
No.
So, but yeah, once you find out all the sacrifices she made and everything
Yeah.
she did towards the end, and seeing him sit there now that he actually knows the truth, it's just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck, man?
Not only did she give her life, she sacrificed her child. She's branded as a traitor by her country, even though everybody knows she's a patriot.
She had to turn her back on the person that she was basically. They were hugely connected,
Yeah, they were like
She trained him.
They were like mother and son. Yeah.
and she had to turn her back on that and act like a complete bitch.
Yeah.
She's sitting there beating his ass on a bridge and threw him off, hoping that his training he'd be able to figure out a way to survive.
Yeah.
Everything about it, it's all calculated and it all makes sense at the end.
Yeah, even if you have no desire to play the game, like
Watch the cinemas.
Watch the cinemas. Yeah, they're on YouTube. I think the whole runtime is like 4 hours.
And it's worth it.
It is.
So,
It's a good story.
hell, throw it in the Nerdgasm. That's pre-one. We'll do the rest later. Metal Gear Solid 3. Gameplay-wise, not
So-
my favorite.
Well, I love the gameplay, and I think that's probably why it's my favorite.
I think I'm too lazy, and that's why I prefer 4 more.
I love the camo stuff. I love finding your food. I love healing your injuries. I love all that stuff.
All right. I really hated the story until the end. And then when it really starts to make you feel connected to it.
Oh, so the one bit about the story that we need to mention is that, well, actually no, because you find out in 4 who the Patriots actually are. So yeah, we'll leave that alone for now.
All right.
But you do get a phone call, of course, at the end
Gotta
of
be a
this one.
phone call.
Gotta be a phone call. So again, you hear now a young Revolver Ocelot
Yeah.
talking to, again, the president, who at this time is LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson. Talking to the president, and he's like, "Oh, yes, nobody had any idea that I was actually Adam." So it's like, what? He was Adam? He was working for America this whole time?
I completely forgot about that part.
Mind blown yet again.
Hey, he's a true patriot.
You could say he's a true patriot.
He's close to the originals.
Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Next week we'll be bringing you Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns of the Patriots.
All right, so we'll wrap it up there. So yeah, I think that's my favorite.
I think it's one of my more favorite stories,
Yeah.
which is kind of awkward because it's not really connected to the story that much until the end.
Yeah.
To
yeah.
play through the game that long, and you're just like, when am I going to get story-related
Yeah.
content?
And I remember saying that when we first initially played it. We were like, this doesn't really tie into anything in Metal Gear Solid 1 or 2.
And then, of course, at the end, it's like,
Yeah.
everything's just blowing up.
Blowing up like what's happening on Marvel
Yeah, they're getting
right
a little
now.
hype in Marvel right now.
All I hear is squealing.
So,
All right, so we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to do our outro. We're going to do our nerdgasms. We're going to wrap this shit up.
that's what you're supposed to do when you gas them.
Wrap that gavel up, B.
Unless you want a baby. Hey, I promise once we're done with Metal Gear, these episodes will get shorter again.
They will not be 2 hours long.
We only got 2 more weeks of Metal Gear.
One. Because we're going to do 4 and then
Well, we
Ground
got-
Zeroes and Revengeance.
We're going to try and get all that out at one time.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So next week, expect our 2.5 hour extravaganza.
All right, so we're going to wrap this shit up. So
We got some Evo to watch.
we got some Evo to watch. We got a couple things to touch on. So first, I saw Minions.
I was hoping after you said touch on, I was going to get a crouch. Just grab the crouch.
Wah,
the
wah,
crouch.
wah, wah.
Grab the crouch.
5th base. There we go.
Hell yeah. I'm thinking 7th now.
So I saw Minions.
How was it?
Worst movie ever.
Worst movie ever.
That's my rating.
Really?
Yeah.
I farted.
So here was kind of my thing with my worry with the Minions was
Wow.
get out of here with that.
That is potent.
All right, keep it over there.
Dude, it's so bad.
My worry with the Minions was that the Minions are always comedic relief for the Despicable Me movies.
Yes, they were.
So I was like, I don't know how that's going to translate in an hour and a half long movie.
And
And-
it sounds like it didn't translate.
Sure enough, after about 20 minutes, I was like, all right, I think I'm done here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes me sad.
So I would say the first 15, 20 minutes, pretty funny. I would say the last 10 minutes, pretty funny. Everything in the middle, yeah.
You can just go to hell.
So,
Alright. Fair enough.
worst movie ever. I know it's cleaning up at the box office. I know people love it, but I was bored after 20 minutes.
Alright.
So, quick review on that one. Ant-Man came out this week.
I'm sure it's doing well.
I'm sure it's going to do well. So it's only been out for 2 days at this point.
What's it raked in?
I don't know, but we're totally in Evo world right now, so I have not even looked, to be honest. But hopefully, I'm planning on seeing it this week, so I'll be able to talk about it next week.
You do that and let us, the fans, know.
I will.
Because I'm a fan.
So let's give a quick Evo update. We'll get more in depth into Evo next week.
Shout outs to Gary.
Shout out to Gary.
That just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, randomly. So Evo update. In Street Fighter 4, we're down to 2 American players in the top 8.
Yeah, I guess they got tired of us talking shit after CEO.
You know, I think they were like, hey, guys, that was CEO. We're not really trying there. You know?
We're gonna take this to the world stage.
We're going to go to Evo and just wipe the floor with everybody.
And they have been.
So, Smug got eliminated. I
Yeah.
think he made top 16, I believe.
Eh.
Strider got eliminated. He was one match away from top 8.
Which
Got
was
eliminated.
crazy because he is getting picked hardcore for top 8 this year.
So I thought we were going to have PR Balrog, Knuckle-Doo, Smug, and Strider in top 8. I thought we were going to have 4 in the top 8.
Yeah, that's not what happened.
No. We have 2. We still have PR Balrog.
Mhm.
We still have Knuckle-Doo.
All right. Well, there you go. We got our 2 American team players. Here's your Smash update. Fuck Smash.
Thought we said we weren't going to talk bad about Smash.
All right. Smash happened and I didn't care.
Yeah.
Is that the good way to phrase it?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Before we move on from Street Fighter, though, what'd you think? I know you had some pretty choice words about Infiltration earlier, my boy.
What about him? What did I say?
You were like, that motherfucker, he's not good with any character. He's good with every character.
No. It's the thing about him is he doesn't, in my opinion, have a main.
No, not really. Not after they nerfed Takuma.
He took the time to get good with every character in that game so he could just counterpick people.
Yeah. So
And that's fucking annoying.
he went against Smug, and I was like, all right, this is a good match for Smug because I know Infiltration likes to play Shotos. Then all of a sudden he picks Elena. And I was like, oh.
Dude, he counterpicks. That's what he does.
Totally counterpicks.
It's like when he just pulled out the fucking Hadouken. Hadouken.
Yeah, the Goki.
Goki?
Yeah.
Goken? Yeah, when he did his Goken at CEO, it's like, it's exactly the point where I was like, does he have a main?
No, he really doesn't.
So, fuck him, dude. All he does is play Street Fighter and learns every character.
Hey, it's working so far, so I think he's the number one seed right now.
He's not the greatest character of anything in the world, but he's damn good with all of them.
So, out of who's left, 2DC winning?
Infiltration.
Yeah,
Fuck him.
I agree.
I still want Rog to take it, though.
I
More
would,
than anything.
I would love PR Balrog to take it. Nothing would make me happier than to see PR Balrog.
But right now,
Go to the end.
he's fighting out of losers.
He is, and it's tough.
It's the toughest seat to come through.
Yeah. So we're watching Marvel vs. Capcom semifinals right now, so we'll get a top 8 later.
Justin Wong just got pushed to losers,
Yes, he did.
which is crazy. Dude, that was kind of disrespectful the way that was handled.
Well, it was done by Kane Blue River, who I don't know if he's ever made top 8. He's always
hasn't.
been like right there.
No, the thing that was pissing me off was just like, you're in the middle of a match and he's just going through all these, it's like fake hype to me.
Oh, when he stood up.
When he stood up and he stopped the match, we're all waiting, and then after the match, instead of a handshake, dude's getting swarmed like he just won Evo, and everybody's trying to give him hugs and tell him how great he did, while Justin Wong's like, can I get my controller port out?
He just beat the Evo champion. I mean, I can't really fault him.
Well, you got to realize I'm rooting for Justin Wong, so fuck that
Yeah.
guy. So,
Well, I'm rooting for Chris G, who I don't even know where he is right now.
well, we can figure it out later. There's brackets posted. Hopefully he's
Yeah.
still running strong.
Hopefully, because we've missed out on a couple matches while we've been doing the show, so hopefully
A
he's
couple,
still
pretty
going.
much all of them. We
Yeah.
catch it between breaks where we stop for a couple minutes and watch.
All right, so let's get into our
Gasm.
nerdgasms.
Oh my god, I'm so having a nerdgasm.
Hey.
So I have a few, so I'll start it off.
Good.
So right before Evo started, some WWE guys got together. They played Street Fighter 4 in the locker room. I
Yeah.
thought it was a pretty funny
You
video.
sent the video. I watched it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. So
I
it
was laughing, especially the ones who's like, man, I ain't played this shit since like high school.
So it was, and they all played Shotos because
Yeah.
those are the characters that haven't changed since then.
They definitely are.
So it was Xavier Woods, Kofi, one of the Usos, I don't know which one, Damian Sandow, Heath Slater, and then there was one more person who I'm forgetting. But either way, it was a funny video. I would check it out. So combines two of my favorite things, wrestling and video games, specifically Street Fighter.
It was funny watching how terrible they were.
Yeah, they weren't great.
But you aren't going into that expecting fucking Evo Championship fucking play level here.
No, and Damian Sandow was commentating it, so he was pretty funny.
He had to rhyme everything.
Yes.
Apparently. I gotta laugh.
So my second gasm is I got the Legacy Megazord, which I showed you
Yeah.
earlier.
That's some nerd shit right there.
All right, so I have a little story to go along with this.
Oh, story time.
So I have the original Megazord up on top of the shelf over there.
Yes, I've seen.
Okay. So I found out last year they were coming out with a Legacy Megazord to promote the, I think it's 20th anniversary of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, that looks really cool, but I still have the original. I would probably be more inclined to get it if I knew they were coming out with the Dragon Zord or Titanus.
Yeah.
They didn't say that they were, so I never picked it up. So, of course, like a few months after, they were like, oh, we're going to come out with the Dragon Zord. And I was like, you motherfuckers. So now I have to try to find a Megazord. Can't find it anywhere. I go on eBay. They're going for $300.
Jesus.
So I'm like, I'm not paying $300 for that. There's no fucking way. So they kind of leaked to the grapevine that they're thinking about a reissue. So I was like, fucking, I'm there. I go get the Dragon Zord. I go get Titanus once that comes out. Although I waited till after Christmas, which good thing I did because it was $200. And then after Christmas, when nobody bought it because nobody knew they were bringing out the Megazord again, I got it for $100.
Okay.
So I got it for basically 50% off. So as soon as they were like, all right, we're taking pre-orders for this reissue of Megazord, I was like, fucking money down. So this was like 6 months ago. I put my money down. I was ready to go. So as soon as that thing came out, I was going to have it. So I've had the Dragon Zord and Titanus for like ever. For like, seems like ever. It seems like, well, it's been 6 months. It seems like 10 years. So I finally got the Megazord, so my childhood is complete. I can make the fucking Ultra Zord, and I love it.
That
it's great.
bitch is heavy.
Yeah, it's a lot of die-cast metal parts, so it's pretty fucking heavy. What would you say, like maybe almost 20 pounds? Maybe
I'd give
18?
it close to 20 pounds easy. And it's like I was telling you when I first was picking it up, I was like, dude, that is not something I would play with as a kid.
No, not at all. You'd hurt somebody.
You'd hurt yourself.
Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to bring
lift,
up,
bro?
after they released that they were coming out with a reissue of it, people were still selling it for $300 on eBay.
Of course they were. Money in the bank.
And
Shawty,
people
what you
were
drink?
still buying it, and that's one of those times where I wish you could just like post on somebody's auction, like, don't fucking buy this, don't spend $300. It's gonna
Wait
be
a
released.
month.
Yeah, because I guess people just didn't know. So just motherfuckers
People also
on
just
eBay.
don't care.
People don't care, but then there's also
People
like
with money
people
are
don't
just
know.
like, yeah. You don't give a fuck where it's going.
My last gasm that I had is at the Key of Awesome, one of my favorite channels on YouTube.
The key of awesome.
Key of Awesome. They just had their 99th episode.
Oh, well,
So they're about to hit 100. They're about to hit 100. I've been listening to their parodies since...
multiple years.
I remember what it actually was. Somebody told me about a parody that somebody did for Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
And I searched it on YouTube, and I couldn't find the one that they were talking about, but I found one that Key of Awesome did. So this was whenever Twilight came out is about when I found Key of Awesome. I think they were on like episode number 3 or 4. So I've been with them that whole time, so to see them about to hit 100 is awesome. I actually thought about, you might even say it's the Key of Awesome. I thought about going through and narrowing it down to like my top 5 favorite of all time. And,
Do it.
And using those as my transitions.
No, don't do that. I'm saying just make it a segment next week.
Yeah, so I was like, I cannot fucking narrow this down to top 5. I can maybe do top 10, so I think next week, yeah, I'll do a top 10.
Yeah, don't use it as transitions. There's so many more brilliant things you can do with that.
Yes, I agree.
We have fun with those.
Alright, tell me your gasms.
My gasms, the first one, after our Mega Man X battle, which, like, infatuated me permanently. Dude,
Oh, by the way, I got feedback on that.
did you?
Funniest segment we've ever done, is what I'm hearing.
It had me laughing. I had to walk away. I have yet to walk away, except for that one time.
Yeah.
Just yelling at you, what are the abilities?
Albino chameleon.
He is a legend. He will go down among the greats.
Alright, go for it.
Mega Man Classic versus Mega Man X, Sequelitis, an Ego Raptor series, which I don't think he's going to do anymore, which makes me really sad.
Yeah, he hasn't done one in a while.
He's only done 3, but they're really cool. I like the way he breaks down games, and it's funny as shit.
Yeah.
It's the birthplace of fucking genius, which I randomly yell. Genius. Yes, that's where it came from. Check it out. It's really cool. It's very insightful, and my other gasm I already forgot.
Okay.
Sometimes you bust a nut and you eat a sandwich.
I feel like it was something about fighting games. I don't remember.
I don't think it was.
No?
No.
Okay.
I think it was. I remember now. It took me a second.
Light bulb.
Ninja Sex Party's
Oh,
new
yeah.
fucking album is coming out, and they've pretty much everything that they've worked on for this album, they've already made videos for and have posted online for the most part. There's a couple things here and there that haven't come out. You got to save something for afterwards, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely everything off that album so far. Attitude City has been great. Money in the Bank. I fully intend to buy this, and I fully intend to enjoy the shit out of it for a good 2 or 3 months.
All right.
Now, I'm talking hardcore as in the only thing I'm going to be listening to.
Hey, sometimes you gotta fucking do that.
Hell yeah, it's fucking great. Orgazmo, of course, Evo, we're watching it now. We got finals lined up. Big finals tomorrow.
Yeah, so today's Saturday when we're recording this. Most of the finals are happening tomorrow.
Which is when this is probably going to be up.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about, the final results next week.
Oh, God, it's going to be so much epic.
It is, yeah.
I'm so sad I didn't get to watch more of Guilty Gear Xrd.
I watched quite a bit of it today.
I watched some good chunks of it,
Yeah.
but I wish I could have seen more. But did they run top 8?
No, top 8 is tomorrow morning.
Fuck yes.
Well,
Awesome.
tomorrow, they're on East Coast or West Coast time. So
it's
it'll
tomorrow
be
afternoon for
noon.
us.
Yeah, it'll be noon for us.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So, all right. We're going to wrap this up before we hit the 2-hour mark because we're getting too close.
Well, I want to apologize in advance. Well, I guess not in advance if you're listening to it now, but we're both fucking tired, so I know we weren't all the way there.
I
with
know
it.
we weren't exactly 100% tonight. I was yawning before I even got here tonight.
And I got about 4 hours of sleep and woke up at 6 in the morning, so good times.
We will,
And it's midnight right now.
I hope you guys had fun. We had fun. We were sleepy.
Yeah.
I wanted a blanket. He refused.
I wanted some nice warm milk to help me sleep,
We'll be back in full effect next week. No problems. It's been a tough week.
So,
Tough week.
one last final thing I want to leave off. Our social media. The big thing, I'm on Twitter a lot, on our Twitter, so at Such a Nerd Pod. You can also hit us up on Gmail, suchanerdpod@gmail.com.
Facebook is Such a Nerd Pod.
Yeah, I want to do a segment where, and we talked about this, I think on episode 2 or 3, where we do like a death battle-esque type of thing. So I think we do nerd battles. So I want to get some battles that you guys want to hear us talk about.
All right.
So, I don't want to see anything like, Superman versus, fucking
Goku.
Lara Croft. Like,
Hey.
nobody wants to see that.
We missed that tonight, didn't we?
Yeah.
That streamed live tonight. Superman versus Goku Part 2.
We'll see it. I'm sure Superman.
I'm sure it's on YouTube.
I'm sure Superman still won, but we want to get some ideas of some battles you want to see. Like, hey, if you want to see Link versus Cloud,
We'll argue that shit.
let's do it. We'll argue that shit.
All right. Yeah, if we get some feedback, we'll do it. If not, we'll make up our own and act like you gave it to us.
Yeah. So, any ideas you guys have? Comic books, movies, video games, whatever. Just send us a tweet. Hit us up on Facebook. Send us an email.
Tweet us.
Let us know what you want to see. Give us some ideas.
If not, I'll send you nudes. You don't want to see that.
You don't want to see new photos of David.
Ain't nobody got time for that. All right.
We're done.
I think we're done.
Yeah.
I love the transition. I didn't talk about my transitions, did I?
Oh, you didn't for official Super Trooper of the podcast.
You gotta give it to him. He's gotta get what he wants. I'll keep it short. The intro was No Reason Boner. I think that was pretty obvious. Ninja Sex Party.
Yes.
I used the Woodman theme for Mega Man 2 after the battle.
Yeah.
I think that was after the battle. Used Poker Face by Cartman.
Yes. Yes.
Am I leaving one out? I feel like I'm leaving one
You
out.
are leaving one out.
I couldn't tell you what it was, but it was good.
Okay. So we'll check that on break and then we'll get back to you.
Since break is the end, goodbye.
Hey! What makes a man? Is it the power in his hands? Is it his quest for glory? Give it all you got to fight to the top so we can know your story. Now you're a man, man. Now you're a man, man. You are now a man, you're a man. makes a man? Is it the woman in his arms? Just 'cause she has big titties? Or is it the way he fights every day? No, it's probably the titties. Now you're a male. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh. Now you're a my, my, oh. My, my, oh my, my, oh, my, oh. Now you're a male. M-A-N, man, 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 man. Now you're a male.